I've never typed out my story because I've always felt embarrassed to say it out loud, even on a throwaway account. I'm worried about the reactions that I'll get. I just need to finally get this all off my chest. This happened several years ago and it's still gnawing at me, in the back of my mind several times a day. I hope that sharing it helps. I have 2 children with my husband and we'd been married for 6 years when I discovered his infidelity. It was a lipstick, in the glove compartment of his car. I found it while looking for a DVD to put in our car DVD player for the kids. When I confronted him about it he told me it belonged to his coworker, whom he'd given a ride to that week. Supposedly it was his coworker's girlfriend's lipstick and it was somehow in his coworker's work bag. Yeah, okay. We argued and he went to spend the day with his parents. That afternoon, his mother sent me a message saying that I needed to fix things. I sent her a photo of the lipstick and told her that he wasn't being honest about why he was over there. His parents have dealt with infidelity themselves and she immediately said she didn't want me to jump to conclusions and she'd talk to him. He came home late that night. I knew something was wrong and I'd already started digging. While looking at his phone records I realized the same phone number was popping up at odd times all day and night, for months. He works long, odd hours that would make it easy to hide things like that. I snuck downstairs and grabbed his phone while he was sleeping on the couch. It was locked, but he'd told me once that his password was his work number. As soon as I opened his phone there was a message by someone I didn't recognize, saved in his phone by their last name. It simply said, "Haha," and I knew. I blocked my number on my own phone and called the person. A woman answered. I hung up, took a deep breath and called again. I hung up. I went back to the other phone and texted, "This is his wife. May I ask who this is?" And the woman replied, "Is this a fucking joke? Call me." I called her from my phone. She was working at a bar, both of our voices were shaking. She had no idea I was in the picture. She'd been sleeping with my husband for a year, but they had been talking online for 4. They met through a dating site when our first child was just an infant. She knew about our, now, preschooler, but our youngest, a toddler, was a complete surprise. My husband had been putting the second car seat in his trunk before going to visit her. She lived over an hour away. He was telling me he was working overnight and actually sleeping at her house every week. He lied about his last name, where he lived, his job, his family. Nothing that he told her was real. He told her he had plans to move closer to her, and to buy her a new car. This may have been true, because we had been looking at houses at the time and he kept getting cold feet about it. She told me he did nothing but bash me to her, said that I was never what he wanted and he was glad to get rid of me. We talked for over an hour, and after we hung up with each other I sent her a family picture that we had taken just a few days earlier. She sent me her Instagram handle, and I looked her up. She's everything that I'm not. He wanted someone the exact opposite of me. I was an exhausted, frumpy mom and she wasn't. After I hung up the phone I called my mother-in-law. It was well after midnight, but I knew she'd answer. She woke my father-in-law up and they were both distraught, in shock. My MIL said to hold on and she'd come right over. I tiptoed downstairs, 2 babies sleeping upstairs, and woke him up. He denied it at first, and then just sat there in shock. My MIL pulled up, and then the 3 of us just sat there. It took hours, but eventually he broke down and admitted everything. He begged me to stay. Said he had no idea what he was thinking. He promised to tell me everything and for weeks I asked him every single question I could think of. I told him I'd stay under the condition of things needing to improve. He spent time away from me when I needed him at home. I'd been spending months wondering why he wouldn't look at me, wouldn't sleep next to me. Wondering if it was because of how I looked, or if I just wasn't good enough anymore. That feeling is still there, and I don't know if it'll ever go away. It's been 5 years. He apologizes when he knows I'm still hurting, but he's beginning to get annoyed about it. He doesn't realize that every reference, in a song, in a movie, in a celebrity scandal, in a Facebook post, they all trigger painful memories. I don't ever want my kids to know this kind of pain, and it kills me that this is part of their parents' story now. Thank you for sticking with me if you've made it the whole way through. I don't know what I'm looking for exactly, maybe just someone to tell me that I'm more than what my self-esteem is telling me still.